Hi everyone, Caliber here. Welcome back. Today I'm going to discuss how saving in Bitcoin can help you transform your mind so you can take control of your life. But please note, I don't give financial or legal advice. So, perhaps you're feeling a bit stuck these days. Stuck living paycheck to paycheck. Stuck with the inflation that's causing you to live paycheck to paycheck. Stuck in some bad habit or addiction, like junk food, social media, alcohol, drugs. Whatever the case may be, at the end of the day, what people typically want most is freedom. Freedom from the rat race. Freedom from addictions and vices. Freedom from doing what other people want them to do. The question is, how do you achieve freedom? Look, there's no one-size-fits-all magic pill, but having previously been in a similar position myself, I wanted to give you a 3-step game plan that I used so that you can hopefully break the cycle and gain the freedom you so desire. So step 1 is to be authentic and honest with yourself. What I mean by this is to recognize your behaviors for what they are. In Bitcoin parlance, there is a certain terminology borrowed from economics describing high time preference versus low time preference behaviors. In the Bitcoin Standard by Saifedean Ammous, he writes, "First, sound money, i.e. Bitcoin, protects value across time, which gives people a bigger incentive to think of their future and lowers their time preference. The lowering of the time preference is what initiates the process of human civilization and allows for humans to cooperate, prosper, and live in peace." But how? Because low time preference refers to behavior that's characterized by delayed gratification, denying your short-term desires for the purpose of fulfilling longer-term goals. Low time preference behaviors might include working hard and saving in Bitcoin, putting the time in to educate and train yourself, exercising and staying as healthy as possible, resisting the temptation to buy stuff you don't need and incurring debt, a long-term, loving, and committed relationship, resisting other things that might interfere with your longer-term goals, such as sweets, social media, alcohol, drugs, etc. On the other hand, high time preference refers to behavior prioritizing your immediate gratification over long-term goals or benefits, such as consumerism by incurring debt and running up credit card bills, frequently eating junk food or fast food and not exercising, wasting time doom scrolling and consuming mindless non-educational content, short-term or leverage trading stocks or crypto crap coins, gambling on get-rich-quick schemes, lotteries, and casinos, and short-term thrill-seeking sexual gratification. So the point is this: we all have our vices. You need to give yourself an authentic and honest assessment of your life. Think about what your goals are, which don't need to be all that complex or specific. For example, I want to be healthy. I want to pay off my credit card debt by the end of the year. I want to be free from my 9-to-5 job. Write them down. Then, if you're engaging in high time preference behaviors, be honest with yourself. Recognize them for what they are, calling them out by name. Again, write them down. And identify them specifically. Think about how they're holding up your goals. To be free of something, you have to identify what that something is. That's what this process is about. Okay, so step 2 is to practice self-awareness and curiosity. Now, if you're being authentic and honest with yourself, you've recognized certain behaviors that are high time preference and holding you back from achieving the freedom you desire. Changing those behaviors will take time and effort because you've probably been engaging in them for years, but you can't change them if you're not aware that they're happening. So you need to institute a habit of self-awareness, which is simply being aware of when you're engaging in the high time preference behavior you previously identified. Start out with just one simple behavior if it's too much at first. Let's say you want to stop buying fast food for your saving and health goals. The next time you go to Taco Bell, hopefully, the previous exercise of identifying your high time preference behavior will flag that as undesirable in your mind. But to go a step further, in that moment when you catch yourself engaging in it, fire up your curiosity and ask yourself, why am I doing this? How is it affecting my life? What you want is to analyze the situation rationally and logically, establishing the idea that eating at Taco Bell will hinder your savings and health goal. If you remain self-aware of your high time preference behaviors day in and day out, and remain curious about why you are engaging in them. Over time, it'll become second nature to recognize them. Then, once you do, you'll need the mental discipline to resist instant gratification, and that's where the next step will help. So for step 3, you want to look outside yourself and get in touch with your spiritual side. Yes, I realize that not all of you are religious per se. But what I mean by this is living for something, someone, or some mission outside of yourself. Think about what you're living for. Is it something external, long-term, and meaningful, such as God, your family, or some important cause to help society? Or are you living for something that's purely inward, thrill-seeking, hedonistic, and short-term? Obviously, that mission needs to align with your core values and be authentic to you, meaning it wasn't imposed on you, but something you desired and volunteered for. Because when you live for something more than yourself, something meaningful to you, you tend to conduct your life in a more sacrificial way for the sake of that mission. This leads to lower time preference behavior that's less selfish and less self-indulgent, and more humble and disciplined. Hopefully, disciplined enough to change your mind when the time comes. And that's where Bitcoin comes in. Unless you were born into privilege or you're already a member of the 1%, achieving true financial freedom won't be easy or quick. And nobody is saying you need to enter monk mode and deny yourself every earthly pleasure. But if freedom is your goal, then you're going to have to make some hard choices, especially when it comes to your money. And saving money in a hard asset like Bitcoin for the long term may be the ultimate low time preference behavior. You see, Bitcoin is a test of your time preference because for now, it's relatively volatile in fiat terms. When you make a commitment to saving in Bitcoin, it reflects a willingness to prioritize future financial security and potential gains over instant gratification. That's why Bitcoin is known as freedom money. Those that understand the implications of these facts will reap the benefits, and those that don't, won't. You have a choice in your life if you're willing to make it. So I know you've chosen freedom. Now the only question is, how bad do you want it? Until next time, everyone. Peace.